Salam. Welcome to season 2 of The Conversation Piece. Here we go. Hello, and welcome back to The Conversation Piece as we celebrate more Black history during this Black History Month. During the course of this project of researching Black people and discovering that Black people have left their thumbprints on every facet of society, and it is overwhelming. It's also humbling knowing I come from a third of people of such strength, ingenuity, faith, creativity. The adjectives are endless. There is so much left to unearth. The task seems daunting, but it is rewarding nonetheless to know that you are in essence also discovering who you are in the process, for we are all connected. There's an ancient Egyptian proverb: the body is the house of God. Man, know thyself, and you shall know the gods. As a Muslim, it is my belief that there's only one God, the Creator, and the Arabic word and name is Allah. But the first part of that proverb, the body is the house of God. Our body, our flesh, is on loan from the Creator, from Allah, which is why it is important in how you take care of your body. It is also important what you feed your body, both physically and spiritually. It's also important in how you treat not only your body, but other people's bodies as well. For they, like you and I, are also the property of the Creator, and we shall all return back to Him. Mahudaj, aka the Black Mummy. In 1958, an Italian archaeologist discovered the mummified remains of a 2.5-year-old boy in a cave in southwest Libya. The boy was in a fetal position, embalmed, and placed in a sack of antelope skin that was then insulated by layers of leaves. The most fascinating discovery was the color of his skin. He was black. The shape of his skull, facial structures, and features confirm this as well. He was in a sack for 5,500 years. This made him the oldest Black mummy in Africa, and this changed the theory of mummification in Africa. This discovery predates the Egyptians' invention of mummification by 1,000 years. The scientists were puzzled. The oldest ancient civilization was believed to be in Egypt. So how was this type of mummification and sophistication possible? After all, this is in the middle of the Sahara Desert, the biggest desert in the world, also one of the most remote and hottest places on Earth. Scientists discovered that underneath the sand were rivers that led into lakes. This kind of reminds me of the story in the Quran of Mary in the desert and the pains of childbirth driving her to rest underneath a tree. She heard a voice telling her to strike the sand with her feet, and a rivulet sprang up, providing her with water. The area in which they found a Black mummy is a desert, but the more clues they find, they conclude that the area was once a savanna, rich in agriculture, farming, and culture. The Sahara Desert as we know it today looked drastically different from 10,000 years ago. It was once covered with vegetation, valleys, and lakes. They believe a shift in the Earth's axis caused the tropical monsoons to penetrate central Sahara, and eventually causing the people having to migrate north. Archaeologists believe that 10,000 years ago, Black people came from the southern part of Africa, following a monsoon belt and traveling north into central Sahara, and there they met people from different cultures as well. People from Palestine and Mesopotamia were also in the area, creating a melting pot of civilization, culture, and ideas. 500 years after the boy's death, his ancestors were forced to move out of the Sahara and possibly east towards the Nile Valley, taking with them the knowledge of mummification. The culture that originated from Juan Mahudaj's ancestors stretched farther than realized. It spanned into what is now North Africa, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Niger, and Mali. As the Sahara Desert dried up, and water being a key to life, the Saharan tribe migrated east to the Nile Valley, and there they would come into contact with the ancient Egyptians. And, naturally, as people assimilate, ideas and traditions rub off onto each other. There will always be debate about the ancient Egyptians, but the evidence that archaeologists are finding is that, overwhelmingly, the sub-Saharan culture of Black people made an impact and influenced Egyptian civilization. Mark 7:7. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Surah 29, Ayah 20. Travel through the earth and see how Allah did originate creation. Who is the wealthiest person in all human history? Jeff Bezos? Bill Gates? Mark Zuckerberg? Nope. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, a Muslim emperor of the Mali Empire from 1312 to 1337. As expected, a brother cannot get any proper credit, as some modern commentators suggest that there is no way to quantify his wealth. Although, during his reign, Mali was considered the largest producer of gold in the world. In 1307, Mansa Musa came to the throne. Musa was a devout Muslim, and it is reported that he made his pilgrimage to Mecca between 1324 and 1326, with 60,000 men, 12,000 servants, and 80 camels. Musa gave out gold en route to Mecca, which included the poor, and he traded in gold. He also reportedly built a mosque every Friday. This came with controversy. He gave out so much gold that is, according to historians and witnesses, it created a massive gold recession, where the prices became inflated, and Musa had to borrow back all the gold he could acquire at a high interest rate. Some historians believe that his trip to Mecca was less about the Hajj and more about Musa bringing attention to Mali. Cairo at the time was a leading gold market, but in order to shift markets, Musa would have to affect Cairo's gold market. Only Allah knows for sure of his intentions. Mansa Musa traveled through the cities of Timbuktu and Gayo on his way to Mecca, and the cities became part of his empire. Timbuktu would soon become a center of trade and culture, and Islam spread throughout, making Timbuktu a new region of Islamic scholarship. Timbuktu's reputation of wealth and academia extended into Europe, and traders and scholars added Timbuktu to their travel destinations. The University of Sankore became a center of learning and culture, and Muslims from Africa, the Middle East, and surrounding regions came to learn. Sankore University, by the end of his reign, outside of the Library of Alexandria, had the largest collection of books in Africa. The university was capable of housing some 25,000 students and had one of the largest libraries in the world with over 1 million manuscripts. In 1330, the city of Timbuktu was invaded and conquered by the Mossi. The city was eventually recaptured by Musa, who had the city refortified with a standing army to protect against future invasions. There was debate about the date of his death, but during his reign, there is no debate that he helped put Mali on the map. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all the support. For those of you who follow me on Spotify and don't want to miss out on any new episodes, turn on the notification button. You can also find the Conversation Piece podcast on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Breaker.audio, Pocket Cast, Anchor.fm/Akila Lynch, and RadioPublic.com. Salam. And with that, I bid you farewell. Until next time. And remember, we start a conversation. Start with peace. Assalamu alaikum.